Good evening and welcome to my end of the week recap video here for Apple and trade plan for next week. Real quick, two trades I took today, Tuesday, 17 May 210 calls here at 149. Looked like we were going to have 21 EMA support. And once it broke and failed, I got out here at 120. Now, my initial plan here was to take 202, maybe 205 calls, but because of where price action was, if it was going to hold that high above the 21 EMA, I had a strong suspicion that we were going to test recent highs very, very soon. Well, that trade failed and of course took a small loss here. So anyways, on to Thursday. A very similar base setup here off of lows. Took me into some 200 weekly calls here at 131 and closed those out right as we approached the opening range high right here at 203. I left some on the table. I think they went to 240, 250, but still overall nice little trade there. Friday I didn't do anything. As I pull up my trade plan here, this was my note from Friday. I did not take this trade. Again, with the negative sentiment in the market right now, the China trade war that's going on, the developments there, didn't seem like it was the right time to go ahead and take any significant long swings. So I just sat on my hands as far as Apple goes, and we'll just wait. What I'm looking for is a retest. If we come back down here to these levels, I will take these calls gladly. If we break above this trend line right here, I will watch the 5-minute candlesticks for a gap and go type of setup, at which point I will take weekly 200s, maybe 202 and a half calls for a move up here. I will expect some resistance, some supply right here at these moving averages simply because they're there. I think as long as there's not any more significantly negative news coming out of the China trade war, I believe we'll hit this 215 area again within the next 2 to 3 weeks just to retest those levels and probably carry on to recent all-time highs. As I zoom out here, monthly time frame doesn't really help much to talk about this. It's still a developing candle. We are not even halfway through the month, but as of right now, it is a dark cloud cover, which is a potentially bearish reversal pattern. Again, monthly is not closed and plenty of time to reverse that. The weekly bar here, as I keep mentioning in my videos, this bar from November is a battleground. As you can see, we've now had price expansion outside of it. We took out the high, took out the low. Now the question is, do we continue lower because we've simply retested this breakout right here, or do we continue higher and rip back up through 210, probably up to 215, as I've stated in the next couple of weeks? My bet, or what I'm going to be betting on, is taking out these highs and holding versus these lows for a period of 2 to 3 weeks. So we'll see if that plays out. The daily time frame shows that it should be obvious there's buying on those, judging by these huge wicks. The only downside to these wicks, just like if the price action was reversed and you had a wick on the high side, once price action breaks above it, you see what happens. You have an explosion higher. If price action moves lower and starts to creep down towards the lows of this Friday, there's going to be a lot of stops taken out, which is going to cause a huge flush, and the whole market will probably drop because this is Apple. Conversely, the 8 and 21 are about to have a bearish cross, which would usually bring in algorithmic selling. At some point, their stop's going to be up here somewhere. So if that crosses, sellers start to sell, and price action actually moves up, those stops will be triggered, so we could have a very nice explosive move higher. For now, I'm still going to stay cautiously bullish. Ideally, I want to buy a pullback to the 50 and 200 SMA, but I will take a smaller trade, breakout trade above this 200 level. So we'll see what happens with that on Monday. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down below. If you would like, you can come join me over at the Trade Crew chat room. It is a free chat. Follow along with some of these trades live, along with some other names that we do trade from a day-to-day basis as well. Have a good weekend and good luck on Monday.